1979, but what was your thinking when that came about?
Well, I was actually related when Larry bought the World Trade Center, and I remember we were building Time Warner Center at the time, and it was a scary time. We closed with GMAC on a $1.42 billion loan. Actually, the same week Larry closed on the acquisition with GMAC of the World Trade Center. It was July of 2001, and 6 weeks later, 9/11 occurred. It was a very scary time. Our project completely stopped at Columbia Circle. Obviously, everyone was downtown. I joined Larry in 2010 and never really fully appreciated the downtown until I got into it. It took me about a week to understand what was going on there. But you know, we're recreating a new New York with streetscapes, an incredible transportation system with 13 subway lines, including the PATH trains, incredible retail, fantastic office buildings, and everything around us is just been blossoming. I mean, Rick has backfilled 3 million square feet in Brookfield Place in the last 18 months, and the number of hotels and restaurants and retail that's going up there is just phenomenal. So we've been really blessed to be a part of it.
So remember the Reichmans deciding they were going to build World Financial Center. Actually, they won the bid because they just said they would build it all at once. It was on landfill. It was a little bit controversial at the time, and then you guys stepped in. What was your thinking in terms of, at the time, downtown wasn't the easiest place to attract tenants to?
Yeah, it's been an interesting ride for 30 years. I actually joined the firm as the World Financial Center, now Brookfield Place, was going up, and it was really a very different place pre 9/11. You know, not easy to get tenants downtown, but the dynamic today is very much different. It's become, in many instances, a preferred location for media technology companies. We just spent $300 million renovating the retail and common areas of our project. The project is 5 buildings, 8 million square feet. Originally, when it was conceived, there were 5,000 people that lived south of Chambers Street. That number today is 70,000, climbing to 100. So, you know, what originally the retail component of that project was really just slapped onto a bunch of office buildings with no consideration about what was happening around it. The environment became very different, and you know, we've recently seen an opportunity to basically transform it to fit the new neighborhood. I think it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, so John, Brooklyn obviously now is accepted as a place where creative tenants and other types of tenants are going, but what was your thinking when you were thinking about coming into Brooklyn?
Sure. Well, what was interesting, when I first moved our business to New York in 2007, I really had a different perspective because a lot of people had been here for a much longer time before. The 3 gentlemen I can be sitting with here today all were people who didn't just see the establishment of Midtown as the only place, but really saw that there was an opportunity in an expanding city. And what I kind of saw was the trend at that time, where you got a lot of people from the Upper East Side moving to the West Village, the people from the West Village moving to the East Village, the people from the East Village moving out to Astoria and Brooklyn. And what was amazing to me was that as more CEOs were moving down to Chelsea, Tribeca, and the West Village, you really had the opening up of New York and more places where companies could be located in a more acceptable way. And then as the workforce really moved out to some of the boroughs, you saw even more sense for how Midtown didn't have to be the only place where people wanted to work. And so what I do is I actually spend a lot of time just helping people with different things. I've actually been across the table from 2 of the people up here just helping tenants, which I don't get paid for, but it gives me a lot of insight into the marketplace, and you help friends, which is always a nice thing. But in doing that, I really kind of got a feel for what tenants wanted. And so our company, we don't come up with a big thesis, we kind of work from the bottom up, and we start with the consumer. What does the consumer want? So I was working with a lot of younger technology companies, and I saw that, where were their people living? The best employees, the creative employees, a lot of them who couldn't afford Manhattan were living out in Brooklyn, in Park Slope, Carroll Gardens, and I realized that they also wanted different things. So they'd ask landlords, well, we want a place for our bicycles. They said, you can't bring your bikes in our building. We want outdoor space. Well, the outdoor space is not. We want great internet connectivity, and they'd say, well, go call Time Warner. And what was amazing is we said, it's such a low bar to really give customer service. So we saw that a lot of people, why wouldn't they be in Brooklyn? And a lot lot of these companies want to be in Brooklyn. So I really spent probably about 2 years just walking Brooklyn. My wife would give me a hard time because I'd take her out to dinner there a lot. And first she'd wear high heels and we'd walk a lot. Then she got smarter and started wearing sneakers to our dinners so we could walk the areas. And we really saw that this is a place that was happening and people would want to be there. So we did in Brooklyn when we bought from the Jehovah's Witnesses 6 buildings, which really was a campus. And at the time we just jumped at it because I said this is the best campus I think in New York City to create something that has established bones, an industrial field that a lot of these tenants wanted, so it was the right aesthetic, and we can really give it the infrastructure that was missing in a lot of more warehouse type buildings. These were old printing buildings where the Jehovah's Witnesses used to print their Bibles. So we rented it up, and we were very surprised with the demand, and I think that it's really an early stage of Brooklyn becoming a major office destination, but I think it's something we're going to continue to see more and more as a lot of the companies are not just focused on where the CEO lives, but also where should they be located to attract the best, most creative, and vibrant and happy workforce.